Good morning, I am Kevin Price. Delighted to be with you. Going to spend some time talking to you about you and your business. I'm looking forward to spending some time with Beate Chelette. She's an author, and her focus in this her book is overcoming negotiation paralysis. And I'm looking forward to this. And it's not the only focus of the book, but it's obviously a big portion of it. And there's these cliches we use of paralysis by, due to analysis. Well, let me tell you, paralysis because of negotiations. They get stalled. People that you're trying to pitch to forgot why they were interested in your product in your first place because you take too long to get back because you're stuck as to what to do next. It creates a lot of problems. And Beate is going to talk about some of that today. But before you do that, first of all, welcome to the program. Kind of give us a little background about yourself, and then tell us the name of your book, and kind of give the book elevator speech, if you will.
Oh, wonderful. I'd be happy to. Well, thank you, first of all, for having me, Kevin. And so my name is Beate Chelette, and I am also known as a gender decoder. I'm a speaker, a coach, and an entrepreneur. I've written a book called Happy Woman, Happy World, and the founder of the Women's Code, which is a unique guide to women leadership and to career and personal success that offers sort of this new code of conduct for women in business, private, and the digital world. So my entire idea was that I wanted to build a community for women to help each other. And, I've written a book. I put it out there. Brian Tracy calls it an amazing handbook for every woman who wants health, happiness, love, and success. And I know a thing or two about hardship. I was $135,000 in debt, a single mom, and forced to leave my home, and I did sell my company to Bill Gates in a multi-million-dollar deal.
Yeah, it didn't quite happen quite in that order, but it's like
I tell you, Kevin, when I tell sort of my short little elevator pitch here, my little thing, I'm going like, Dan, this is a pretty awesome story. But when I was in it, I also suffered through what I call a decade of bad luck, where nothing ever went right. But I have a good, happy ending to a very tough story, so I'm here to tell it.
By the way, where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Germany.
From Germany. Yeah, see, now with the name, your accent sounds German or Dutch or something like that, but your name sounds maybe like French or Swiss or something like that. And so, see, now we got it. Of course, German is the first language of Switzerland, so I guess it could have been possible. But we're delighted to have you on the program. Tell us a little bit about this problem of paralysis during negotiation. No one likes to negotiate. Seems like everyone wants to sell, and obviously most people want to buy or they would never buy anything, but that whole process between the two is often awkward in between. Talk about that.
Well, I think, it is so simple that I can't believe nobody has sort of talked about this to much greater extent before. We are just not being taught negotiation skills. So would we be taught negotiation skills just like we are being taught, other skills, then it would be so much easier for us to do. But the paralysis comes from we don't have enough experience with negotiation. So when the negotiation comes up, we freeze in fear and we go, what do I say? I feel like an idiot because I don't even know how to talk about myself or what my value is.
Yeah. And so obviously there's a great cliche and the great thing about most cliches, at least it rings somewhat true, but one I think is great is, prior preparation prevents poor performance.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what it's all about. We talk about how to overcome this, and it's a very, very simple thing. You have to practice, and you have to just talk about it, like you have a normal conversation, a regular conversation with your spouse or with your friend, and you very much like you say, well, I can't believe that they're not understanding the value I bring to the table, and then you say, well, I'm this and I'm that and I'm that. Well, that's kind of how you have to talk when you go and talk to your boss.
Yeah. Be you negotiating a raise or you're talking to a potential client or whatever it is you're trying to change.
Absolutely. But it is a learnable skill. I want to be very clear about that. And it comes from just practicing it more often. If anybody's ever bought a car or has anybody ever, leased a vehicle, it's the same thing. You go in and you know it's going to be a negotiation. And that is the same mindset. Our entire lives are a negotiation. So everything is negotiable.
Yeah, what you ought to do is start maybe by, even if you're not going to do it for real, just go out there and practice, every couple of weeks at a car dealership. If you don't pull the trigger, they'll be irritated you. Yeah, they'll be irritated you for wasting their time, which they don't have any problem wasting your time, by the way. Car salespeople, I notice. But at the end, you'll be acquiring a great skill. What are some things that people should bring into a negotiation to help them out?
Well, the first thing is to really establish what your personal value proposition is. And I've written a couple of articles about this. And, Happy Woman, Happy World talks about sort of leadership skills for women. I think it's a clear assessment of what am I really good at, what am I bringing to the table, and why is this valuable? And a lot of people never even think about that. They just say, well, my contribution is valuable. But let's break this down a little bit further. What does that really mean? Does it mean you're the best project manager? Does it mean you have an analytical mind? Does it mean that you are the best organizer of it? But what does that really mean when we use these broad terms? So the specificity is really the key in our value proposition, and that is what we take into the negotiation. So instead of saying I'm a valuable employee or valuable partner, we say, listen, here are these 3 skills that I'm bringing to the table, and I do this better than anybody else, and that's the value, and this is the value I put to it, and this is the value you should put to it as well.
All right, great guest today, Beate Chelette. She is an author of a book that I really want the listener to check out. And again, when you give the information about the book, give us also the website.
Yes, so the book is Happy Woman, Happy World, and you find it at happywomanhappyworld.com. It's available paperback and as a audiobook and also as an ebook. And the book is all about helping women to get from overwhelmed to awesome. And I have a couple of, very cool sort of doable ideas for women to not feel sort of crazy busy, but to be able to take it down and say, here's my value, here's what I want, and go out in a reasonable way without making all the men around us upset, but to get the buy-in from those around us and find a little bit more happy woman in us.
Very good. Thanks so much for being with us. When we come back, much more for you. We want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com.